Hey everybody, welcome back to Brent's Backyard Redneckery. You know, as the season is winded down this year, I had a lot of vegetables that didn't quite ripen, especially tomatoes and peppers. Probably because that's mostly what I grew. But today what I'm going to do is take my green tomatoes, my green peppers, and see if I can't turn them into a hot sauce that's edible and delicious. So get ready. I'll tell you what you need to do. Let's get into it. So these are our ingredients for this hot sauce. We've got green tomatoes that weren't fully ripe, some peppers the same way. Got a couple shallots we're going to chop up, garlic we're going to press, juice of a lime, a green bell pepper, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of salt, and our white wine vinegar. All right, with your shallots, or at least for me, I'm just going to cut the ends off of these and then lightly graze it there and peel off the outer layer. And then I'm just going to chop them in half this way and then lay them down like so. Chop them here, here, there, and there. I'll do that with both of those. And we're just going to throw them in the pot once they are cut up. Since everything's going to go in together and mix up to cook, all in the stainless steel pot there. With the garlic, cut off the ends like that. And then do the same kind of thing. Peel off the outer layer. I'll just take them like this. I'm just going to cut these like this. And then pop them like that. And pop those in the pot. With our tomatoes, we're going to want to keep the core out of here. So you can do it a couple different ways. You can either go straight down the side like that. Or you can take your knife and go around it in a circle. But we're just going to cut it right out of the middle like this. And then do the same here. So we just cut out, there's our core, get rid of that. And then we'll take these tomatoes and I'm just going to put those in chunks as well. We'll cut them like so, toss them in. I'm not too worried about the skins on these things because it should cook down well enough that they'll come apart. So I'll do all those tomatoes like that. Bell pepper, I usually cut out the center like this. It seems to make it a little bit easier. Pop it out. God. We'll cut them like this. It's almost like a leather couch. That's not good, but it's going to cook into mush anyway. So we'll take out all the seeds from the bell pepper, cut those up into this way and this way, this way. Everything's just going to be chunky. With our regular peppers, we're going to do the same. Except we're going to cut off the ends. We're going to take them and cut them in half, like that. And then we're going to cut out the seeds on these two and toss those out. And then we'll put those in the pot. So I'm going to go ahead and cut up all this stuff, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, so there's everything chopped up. Now we're going to get ready to measure everything else. Vinegar, salt, sugar, all that jazz, add it in here and get it going. So the first couple things we'll do here, we've got to add our vinegar, which is going to be a half a cup. We also, one thing I forgot in the ingredient list is peppercorns. I counted out about 12, which is a quarter of a teaspoon. We're just going to let those cook in there with it. We're going to use a quarter cup of turbinado. Might have to adjust that for taste later on, but we'll see. And a half a teaspoon of salt. Now what we'll do is combine all this and get it up on a medium heat and start letting it break down. Probably do that for about 30 minutes and then recheck it. All right, so this cooked for about 30 minutes. It's getting nice and soft in there. I went ahead and turned off the heat. So now our next step, we're going to take all this and we're going to put it into the food processor, blend it together and see what kind of flavor we got. All right, so now what we'll do is we'll just scoop this out, let a little bit of the liquid drain. I'm going to move it over in here. I'm going to fill that up and I'm going to keep out as much of the liquid as I can at first and mix it in as this blends because it likes to leak out of the top. All right, so all this is in here without the liquid, which I have in another container. I'm just going to pulse this up. So that's looking pretty decent, about like a salsa. But what I'm going to do now, pour in this stuff that I strained out. So now we'll put the lid back on, lock that in place. All right, now let's take a look at that. So this is looking like a pretty good salsa right now. I don't know if it's going to be yeah, that might be actually a pretty good hot sauce viscosity there. But I'm still going to put it in my other food processor and try and get a little bit more pureed. All right, so it looks like we've ended up with right at 4 cups here. So now I can put it in my other food processor and get it a little smoother. All right, we'll see how much better this makes it. I think that's looking a little bit smoother. Let's pop it open and have a look. And so there's what was in our glass container. And here's what we got in our food processor. Let's do a spoon drop test and see what's better. So we've blended that up over there. Let's check this one first. See how thick it is. All right. Now let's see if this one's smoother or not. Not a whole lot, but enough that I want it to be where it's at. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish this stuff up. I got about 3 cups to go. I'm going to put it in a little bit at a time. Once we get it all done, we'll get this stuff in some bottles and finish this up. The last thing we have to do here is get the juice out of this lime. So I've already got it nice and soft, squeezing it really good. And we're going to take it here and put it through this sieve. Make sure we don't keep any of the seeds in here if they do pop out. And we'll add this in there, stir it up, let it cook for about 5 minutes, and then we'll get it in the bottles and we'll be done. So the last thing we're going to do before we bottle this, and toss in the lime, the juice from that lime, we're going to mix it in, let it go for a couple minutes here on simmer, and then we shall put it in the bottles and be done. Let's see how this looks. Nice and chunky, just like I was hoping. The flavor of it is pretty warm. I think that Reaper that I put in there helped to raise the heat level of this. And the tomatoes, you can taste the tomatoes, but they're not overpowering. And the onion and the garlic's not too strong either. So it's pretty good balanced hot sauce. So I'll get this all wrapped up. We're done. All right, that wraps up yet another episode of Brent's Backyard Redneckery. Hope you guys learned something today about how you can still use vegetables that aren't fully ripe to make something, and it doesn't all go to waste. If you guys did learn something and enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up, share it with your friends, come back next time. I'll tell you what you need to do. Y'all have a good one.